Good evening and welcome to the D League podcast. I'm actually here as your official commissioner, here with my other probably official commissioner at this time. And with us today, a special guest, two-time absolute failure, Ben. Just absolute worst of the worst, but here he is.
Thank you guys so much for having me on your program. It's a pleasure.
It really is. It's great to have you here.
Good to get you on. Get your perspective.
Right, really scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
Like, is this like a serial killer FBI interview?
Yeah. One of us is good cop, one of us is bad, and you got to figure out which one it is.
Noted.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Obviously there was a lot going on this week. I haven't been here for a couple, so we want to go around the room and say how our week was. As a guest, Ben, you want to go ahead, tell us what was the last week like for you in fantasy and I guess your personal business life, whatever.
Last week in fantasy was terrific. Malia got his absolute face caved in with a rock, which was cool for me personally. I exceeded my projection by 45%. He was 45% lower than his projection, so I am now in first place in Herman Sherman, as we all predicted at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
My team is unstoppable. Tight end university. Fuck the world. And my personal life's great. Had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Pistachio cream ales. It was delicious.
Ooh.
How old are you now?
It's private.
So we should have gotten your shot book. Well, happy birthday, man.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
You didn't invite me to go out or anything.
Yeah, incredibly sad.
Pretty selfish of me. That's fair.
Honestly.
You live across the street from a bar.
I don't. So that time that you called me at like 11:45 to meet you at 10:29, I no longer live next door to 10:29.
What?
Yeah.
You just moved there.
Listen, it was tough. It was a tough corner to live at.
Yeah, I can imagine. 1029 is a shithole bar that you can get like a hams for $2, but also a $50 lobster roll. It's just total whiplash. And T-Shan and I went there after a couple beers at a brewery for his birthday, and it was like all 20-year-olds, like U of M kids. It was not.
Do you think are they ordering the $50 lobster roll? And is the $50 lobster roll worth $50, or is it just like a gimmick price?
It's extremely good. I don't know $50 worth, but it's very, very good.
Okay, well that's interesting.
It's like a legit stuffed, full of lobster. It's really good, but $50.
That's not bad. I really liked the Nashville draft when we had them. They were like making like fried bologna sandwiches for $1.
Yeah,
that was a good place.
That actually rocked.
Should have never left the whole weekend. Just stayed there.
Anyway, happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. How's your guys' week?
Yeah, Austin, you want to tell how was your week? As your first, I can read your first topic here, so I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's been going great.
I am back to back. Most points scored in Guggenheim after being 2 of the first 5 weeks the lowest scoring team in Guggenheim. So I'm back to kind of being in the middle. We're 2-0 in the last 2, and 4 and 5. We're slowly climbing out of the gutter. In my personal life, some big shit's happening. RJ went to daycare on Monday.
Man.
Went there and didn't sleep 1 second for the entire 8 hours she was there. And then the babysitter or the daycare people were like, you should really work on sleep training with her so she can go down, without assistance. So we started sleep training that night, 2 nights ago. It actually went okay. And then last night we did it again. My whole plan for sleep training is we just put her in her crib and then leave her. And then we go downstairs 2 levels and then we turn the TV on and I just pretend that she doesn't exist anymore. And then when I check the monitor 3 hours later, she's asleep. And then I turned the monitor on and left it on for the rest of the night and we never heard her once.
That's amazing.
So within 2 days, 2 nights, she cried it out to the point where she has sleep trained. She's asleep right now All we did was put her in the crib, and she's down. Incredible. She slept during her daycare naps today like a champion. Like we did it.
I want you to just rest on your laurels a bit, because there's this thing called like a regression, and you'll be like remembering.
That was
No,
4
like,
months.
they keep happening.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, like, and sometimes your issues will shift, as if like my 3-year-old today was just screaming at the top of her lungs and like in absolute like just upset freak out mode for like just running around screaming and burying her head in the like pillows and stuff like that. And I think the reason is that I wanted to brush her teeth instead of mommy. I think
Well, you
that was
should've
where we're at. So yeah, it's a ever revolving carousel of fun things to encounter. But congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Big week for me.
Yeah.
Sounds dope.
Yep.
How do you feel about Miles Sanders?
That's not me.
That was my.
Oh, that was you. You don't
Yeah,
have.
I
You don't know
skipped
how to
that
use.
accident.
You don't know how to use the indent.
Little inside baseball. We have an outline that we're following, but I'm not following it. Miles
Doing a good
Sanders
job.
belongs in federal fucking prison. He is. I tried to think of who he is. He's Gianardi fucking Bernard. Giovanni
Oh, yeah.
Bernard reincarnate is Miles Sanders.
Oh, good. Everyone enjoys having Geo. That's a good stable number.
What's it? Is the Bears running back Devonta Freeman? Is he that good, or is Miles Sanders that ass? Because it's the same offensive line, and Miles Sanders is so bad.
I don't know, man.
Which one is it?
I really think that Miles Sanders might have like literally pulled a fraud to be where he is in life.
He got the
truly does
biggest
not belong.
contract of all running backs in the offseason, and he has like 1 yard to carry.
Yes. That is correct.
Amazing.
Him and Najee Harris, like, if shit gets weird and we like start hanging people off the battlements, those two first. Straight up.
Wow.
No offense.
No, of course. All due respect.
Right.
Well,
All right,
Well,
on to you, Jameson. The battle
yeah.
of the bean continues.
right. And it's not like, a lot of people refer to a battle as one thing. This is like an ongoing battle. It's more of a war at this point. It's a series of skirmishes, nightly skirmishes that occur, once the sun goes down, hostilities begin, and we have to maintain the siege. And yeah, so that's usually that's been some of the reasons why I haven't been on here, is because I will be sitting and just like watching a child jump up and down in their bed in front of me and like just not listen to a single word I say, but still at the same time need to sleep, like more than anything, need to sleep. and then she won't that much, and then the next day the cycle continues. So but I love her, she's the best. But yes, that's the battle.
What happened
continues.
tonight? You're here on time.
Yes. So, as I was describing, she was screaming her head off for like literally no reason, and like just like existential wailing about just
Sounds like
the
she had a great
dumbest.
reason. You put your ugly mittens in your mouth.
What?
She had a great reason. You put your ugly mittens in her mouth instead.
No,
of
I didn't even get that far. Like we wouldn't get. That was I think the water was unacceptable. Oh, the book unacceptable. Like she was being read a book. No, she took it,
I want to
hid
read
it, got
Dune,
a new book,
Daddy.
got a new book, and then was mad that I wasn't reading correctly. Like I wasn't able, like it had to be taken downstairs to mommy. No, I wasn't allowed to read the book. And then eventually mommy came and just put her to bed. So that was why I'm here today. But yeah, as we're talking about fantasy stuff, I just wrote like a lot of like random notes into this section. But fantasy wise, I did get my 100th. I'm the first to get 100 regular season wins, or however they're counted. 100 wins. It's me, and I got it versus Davo, which is like personal accomplishment. But and then in the system, there's another place where it shows 100 wins as like milestones, and Jeff and James Von Gillen also have 100 with whatever that's counting. I think it's also counting, consolation wins is what the guy said. So it's probably all the games you played instead of just like playoffs and regular seasons,
Sure.
which I think is what they are right now. But even using that, I would have done it last year, and they did it in the beginning of this year. So I still did it first. So that's my own
Congrats.
personal accomplishment.
Hang the banner.
Yeah, I did. And speaking of hanging the banners, when last week I wasn't here again, I was watching the World Series with my oldest, who sat up with me. She got through
Dean.
most of the yeah, I got through most of the ALCS with her. She did pass out a little bit, but she got to watch that. But she did sit and watch the whole World Series with me, which was really awesome. And we got to watch the Rangers win it for the first time. So that was amazing. And it's been fun to be down here, obviously, for that. And you know, it's always fun to watch like a franchise that's not won it, you know, to actually get that. It's pretty cool. So that's been really fun. Austin
Did
and
you
I
have, like,
found
a
it. Hmm?
Parade or anything?
No, I'm not driving to Arlington. No way. Like, I'm not
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
fuck that.
Yeah, that's where the ballpark is, and so you get a joke like the Arlington Rangers or whatever. But yeah, I'm not going that far to go like to a kind of probably mismanaged parade situation. There's supposedly like 500,000 people there or something. So it's really cool. I watched it on TV, but no. And what else? Oh, we found it. We had a fun baseball trivia fact is that we found out that Washington had a team called the Senators. The Washington Senators got like moved and became the Minnesota Twins. Then Washington got a new team, and then they moved and became the Texas Rangers. So we both got to steal Washington's probably terrible team at the time, or so that was kind of a fun
And then
thing
the
to
Twins
discover.
and the Washington replacement team won World Series before the Rangers did.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's
So you
that's
finally
less
got one.
fun. That's less fun. But maybe that one will count instead of Washington. We'll count it for Montreal. So well, it doesn't count for Washington. I'm not going to get through the logic and all that because that'll end up without us recognizing ours. But whatever. What else is going on? Oh, we had Halloween. You know, obviously Halloween's a big holiday here. I do the yard display, but I'm not even placing anymore in my neighborhood because the competition. I came into the neighborhood. I instantly elevated the quality of what's going on in the neighborhood display wise, and then now I've been outshone with people who are shopping at Spirit a lot more than I am. I am a homegrown. All my stuff is homegrown. We got people that'll go buy a lot of stuff, and they're flashier than I am. I'm like the artisan yard haunt, but I haven't done anything in 3 years, so I have a whole plan in my notebook to try to do something to add to it every single month until next year. So next year should be a little more intense. Step one is I've got a lightning generator that basically flashes like a strobe. It's connected to a strobe light. You play thunder sounds, and it flashes and looks like lightning. It's a lightning simulator. So that's step one.
You're writing in like a sinking fund into your budget every month for the next 3 years for Halloween.
Well, to
There's
be
gonna
honest,
36 entries.
it's not that expensive to do a lot of this stuff. It's mostly like, you know, foam.
Sure.
If you know what's funny is my foam skills are top notch. Do you know how much foam skills I used when I was in the house? Zero. like I could have really done some work on a float. I had all this latent talent that I never utilized. I was too busy like shirking responsibility or any kind of work at all. So
Hell yeah.
Step 12 is
Yeah.
a death ray pointed at my neighbor's yard that vaporizes him and his family. So
I do-
wait,
I-
I don't understand. They're just going and buying like big skeletons or something, or why are they winning?
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of different things. So my neighbor, I'm not going to accuse him of that because he does what's called corpsing skeletons. Like he'll take the skeletons and like wrap them in tape, and you put like stain on them so they look more
Okay.
like corpses. And he sets
It's like
all this
work.
stuff up. Mm-hmm. And then you got other people that do. They go out to Spirit Halloween and buy stuff and put up lighting in their yard and things like that. And I think the couple that were like first and third this year, there was cool lighting and stuff they got from Spirit Halloween or wherever, and it was fun. It was neat to watch. Mine is very low key, like generally, but next year I'm hoping the atmospherics are a lot better. So I can tell you here's my crowning achievement that I'm working on. I think is going to be it's going to be like a large Ouija board that's waterproofed, so the whole scene is a graveyard. It's a graveyard in the front of but very realistic looking tombstones and good lighting. And so I want to have a Ouija board set as if maybe some kids were like messing around and doing the Ouija board in the graveyard. But I want to get a mechanism under it with a magnet, and then the planchette on top will be magnetized, and then it will move around by itself, like
Whoa,
occasionally.
yeah.
So that's the whole thing. And then, light it up, put a lantern next to it, and just kind of make it look like a little scene in there. And then, added everything else like with good sound, with like spatial sound that like looks like, stuff's moving around or bells are off in the distance. And then we've got the ghost in the window, projection, and then the lightning generator, and we're going to do other stuff. So it should be hopefully a little bit better than it has been in the past. But
You
so
should
it's
petition
Halloween.
the neighborhood to create a sort of relegation structure where
Yeah,
you're
I got an idea.
grandfathered into the top league because you're a homegrown operation, and then
Yeah,
can't
well, I
really
did
leave
push.
it unless another homegrown operation knocks you out.
I did push harder to make it ranked choice voting because we had some scandal. We had some scandal the first year. This guy was like, there was just like an easy like click and vote thing, and he just sent the link, we think, to like anyone he knew.
Oh yeah, he
to,
was
like,
astroturfing votes, right?
astroturfing votes was the theory or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then after that you had to put your address in, but then it's first past the post, and there's problems there. So I try to make it ranked choice voting because you know how I feel about ranked choice voting stuff, but
That's what
it wasn't feasible, so they didn't do that. And then I basically haven't been on social media at all, so I didn't
You
really
do live
pay
in
attention
Texas.
this
I
year.
doubt ranked choice voting would ever pass there.
Yeah, probably not. So
Classic
yeah,
red
that was
state stuff, though, making you jump through a bunch of hoops to cast your ballot.
Yeah.
yeah. There we go.
I'm surprised
Yeah, I
you
should
can do that
make it-
online. Actually, you should have to.
I
wait
should
in
make
line
it
for
harder to
45
vote. That's what I
hours.
should do. You have to show
Yeah,
up
you
at
should
my house.
gerrymander your own neighborhood, so like you can only vote for James. There's
Your
only one
districts,
option
yeah.
on the ballot for this part of the neighborhood.
Yep, that'll be it. I need to think bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right. I'll
now that we're
donate
at
to your super PAC, and we'll be good to go.
donate to my Halloween display. Now next year, we're out of Halloween, so it's True Tone time. We're shortly
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
get like it's True Tone season. If you haven't got your lights already, you better. I've got a string that I'm gonna put up. My Christmas display is gonna be real like low key. I don't put a lot up at that point. But yeah, just a reminder: get your True Tone light bulbs.
I've gotten
Um,
multiple emails from True Tone about delays in
Hmm.
getting my bulbs, so I
That's
still haven't
sad.
gotten mine yet. And I pre-ordered mine back.
You
in,
did
like,
early.
June or July.
All right. Well, let's not hold this against them this year. Maybe their increase in demand is wild due to our advertising on this podcast.
I could see that.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, are we putting our sponsors on blast here? I feel like that's bad form.
Yeah, that's not good. They're not going to like that.
Could be.
I'm still.
They already
loyal
got put on
True Tone
blast.
buyer.
The initial email from Denton.
Yeah. That was all-time
We
great
were
story there.
riled.
Yeah. Okay, what else we got? Austin and I have been playing Flesh and Blood a bunch. It's super fun. Then Austin has found like he's going to actually get to play in person before I am, which is depressing on my end, but we can play online if anyone else out there is interested in doing this stuff. But it's great.
It's really good.
I found out about 20 minutes ago the last freestanding Pizza Hut is in Geneseo, Illinois, which I think is where Skelt's from. Maybe, I don't remember, but someone lives around there. But yeah, there is a Pizza Hut. It's freestanding. It looks like it's like the Pizza Hut you would expect when we would have gone there, which I didn't. Incredibly sad. There's only one left. That's
Like the actual hut.
yeah. Well,
thing?
like with tables and like you get
Oh, yeah,
drinks and
yeah.
like the salad and all that stuff. Like instead of it just being a to-go place now.
Think about
Are
what
they
they
just
do.
running out of like natural habitat for them or what?
Yeah, I think so. It's an endangered species. They've got like the stained glass lamps. Remember that would hang.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It was
yeah,
an
I mean,
experience. It was like a whole intimate place to be.
just think about going to Pizza Hut after like a game or something, whatever
Yeah.
insert
After
your
losing
childhood memory.
75 to 30 in a YMCA game.
Yeah, exactly. My nephew's team actually in the collegiate football, I think they just beat they won 77-3, I think was the score, like very recently, which is an insane score for football. So anyway, you just reminded me of that. Okay, last thing I had on here. So I threw this out here in the Discord. I threw it out in the email. Is that I feel like maybe people didn't quite understand what I was talking about, but I'm putting together like a little. It's almost like a circuit. So we'd have a cup, like a multiple fantasy sport D League cup, whatever. So the idea basically is we would just play multiple fantasy sports in a circuit, and then based on your standings in each individual one, award points. And at the end of all of that, there would be some sort of award for, doing the best overall in all of them. Somebody thought it would be like, well, you're going to draft everyone all at once. I'm like, no, that would be entirely manual. And no, I'm not doing that. And like, I think we would get like 3 people that would do that. So it's real straightforward. If you want to play, if you have any interest in playing anything besides just fantasy football, like I'm putting it out there, let me know. We can, accommodate as many people as we want. It would go like, I think what's the season? Yeah, like baseball, football, basketball, hockey, and then the ends would kind of overlap with the next one. And yeah, and if there's any other weird fantasy sports out there that we can do, we can throw those in there too. But just figuring the big 4 would be fun. I think we got like
fantasy hockey before.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've played all of them. I actually it's kind of neat to go if you kind of vary the scoring types. Like some of your leagues are maybe like 5 category roto, and some are head to head, or some are category head to head, and you kind of mix it up. So over the year, you're kind of doing different stuff. But I think we've got 7 or 8 that we're interested so far. So we're still working out the details in the Discord, like what kind of buy-ins we'd want for the other leagues, and what do we want to do a prize, like cut a little bit from all of them so we can award a prize at the end, or whatever. If anyone has any ideas, like I'm open to it. So throwing that out there, let me know if you're interested. All right. And then that's all the random ranting I have noted down for my section. Oh, so what do you got next? Week 9 reactions. This is more your bread and butter.
Yeah, we can start out with just NFL stuff.
Yeah.
The first is what I thought was the worst weekend of football ever turned into one of the best, thanks to the absolute plethora of injuries to all the starters. So the Vikings backup QB gets concussed in the first quarter and enters Josh Dobbs, who had been acquired 3 days earlier. Josh Dobbs goes off immediately. Well, actually doesn't go off. He immediately gets sacked for a safety. And then Atlanta scores again. And then I'm texting my buddy Lucas, like, this is a fucking disaster. Like I said last week, we played ourselves into a worse draft pick, and this is going to be terrible. And the dude, all he does is straight up ball out like a fucking MVP. If you watch the sack avoidance from Josh Dobbs, holy shit, he's Josh Allen. He's literally Josh Allen for free. This dude is fucking insane. He's the dote. The Vikings are on their way to the fucking soupy off the back of the Pastronaut, the pocket scientist. You know what I'm talking about. This guy's a fucking beast.
Everything you just said is literally true. This is not a bit. The Minnesota Vikings are fucking good, guys. They're really good. I beg people, watch the games. Watch the games. You'll see the dough. You'll see, apparently we have a good defense. That's fun. That's cool. We have an offensive line for the first time since 1999. That is super cool. Team of
Fun fact, the Vikings defense, number 6 on the year in fantasy.
Wow.
Number 6, just casually.
What's Josh
casually
Dobbs?
really fucking good.
Josh Dobbs just went for $18 in the President's League.
He's available right now in Herman German. At least he will be for the next 30 seconds until someone listens to this. I was thinking about swallowing my pride and picking him up and dropping Will Levis.
You should.
Full disclosure.
You absolutely should.
It's called sunk cost fallacy, Ben.
But there is a part of me that is worried that Josh Dobbs is only a guy who you can count on if he's been in the building for like less than 24 hours.
Once he gets that new car smell gone, he sucks.
I don't know, man. He's literally the number 10 quarterback in fantasy this year. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Look at his.
He's
like,
an actual.
game
So
logs.
if you don't know anything about Josh Dobbs, he's super smart. He interned at NASA in between like learning playbooks.
Wow.
He is just an absolute like he's a literal rocket scientist. And like when the game was going on, Kevin O'Connell and like the rest of the Vikings are like telling him how the plays are translated to what he already knows. And like he would just go to the huddle and be like, "All right, Addison, like what are you actually doing?" And Addison's like, "All right, this is the route I'm running." And they executed that and then beat fucking Arthur Smith and the Falcons. Arthur Smith has been coaching for 4 years. Like just
That's
destroyed
amazing.
him.
Josh Dobbs just has his back to the defense and he's drawing on his hand like for Jordan Addison to run an out route for fucking.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is it. Yeah.
Well,
That was the fucking best.
man, that's like the opposite. So I've been my oldest daughter is old enough that she wants to watch all the sports, and I'm like, okay, like I've been basically telling her like, look, part of the cool thing about living in like a big metro is like you have teams. They're yours because you live here. Like you grew up here, you're born here. Like they're just yours. Like these are your possessions basically. They're representatives of you in the city, and that's how it works. Like you're not
You
in the
own
middle of
Micah
nowhere.
Parsons.
Yeah, basically, like it's something like that. And so she, like I'm like, okay, a Cowboys game's on. You want to watch it? And she's like, yeah, I want to watch Cowboys. So we watched one of the weird, like goofiest, like endings of I don't know if anyone else watched that because, like, why would you? But there was like multiple, like, just like not head scratching, but just like a catch that would have been like almost a game-winning touchdown or put them almost there. That was like 3 inches off, like too early with his knee from like I think it was a tight end or like a.
Oh yeah, you're talking about this week.
Yeah, this week, and then Dak like going out of bounds too early with his like run into the end zone thing, and just
the 2-point conversion.
And then watching the Eagles get pushed almost the entirety of the field in the last like 20 seconds due to penalties over and over and over, only for the Cowboys to lose the game anyway. Like I was like, this is the experience that you're being bestowed upon, but we've just won the World Series. So like, this is the sport I like if I'm caring about Dallas sports, it's like, I like the Rangers and the Stars. Those are my favorite. Like that's the ones I care about the most. Those are ironically, they're great. Oh, what a coincidence! But they are the most fun to actually go to and follow. Basketball, I'm trying. My daughter says she's going to play basketball. I have to like learn how it works so I can try and like guide her, I guess, a bit. But it's my least favorite to watch. And there's football where like there's no expectation of greatness out of the Cowboys anytime soon. So yeah, here's your legacy.
Well, she has a title already 7 years in. So
right. The first
better than we had.
The first 6 games. So less than full series she watches. Well, no, she watched most of the ALCS. So like the first 10 games of baseball she watches include beating the Astros for the ALCS and then winning the World Series. So this is your foundation.
Didn't the Mavericks win one since she's been born?
Yeah, but
2011.
Yeah. Well, she
wouldn't
have been born.
Not even close.
Even at like I think everybody has been like playoff bound pretty consistently. Even FC Dallas was, but then they lost. So
has it really been 12 years since Dallas won the NBA title?
Yeah, 2011.
Been a
Dirk.
minute.
That seems wild.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I was just diverting. I was making it all about me, but I'm glad that you guys.
Well, speaking of Texas, also one of the reasons that this weekend turned fucking amazing. One, CJ Stroud is unbelievable, but two, part of the reason I beat Tyler Cum was their kicker got injured, and Tyler Cum had their kicker. Kicker injuries are rarer than, I don't know, unicorn. They don't you have one job to do. So if your leg gets injured, like I don't even know how to describe that. That just should never happen. But anyway, his kicker got injured, so their third string running back did their kickoffs and a game-winning field goal. So this weekend ended up just being incredible. It was like 15 backup QBs, a third string running back kicking field goals, and then Arthur Smith being like, everyone who plays fantasy should kill themselves. And I would rather lose to the Vikings than have any of my good players touch the football. It was just delicious.
The Falcons
Bijan Robinson players everywhere. Just
Did you see his press conference after? He was like, Bijan is just as valuable when he's not on the ball because he draws the defense over to him. So he's literally playing we drafted Bijan 12th overall or 8th overall, I think, to be a decoy.
Yeah.
That's like the 7th grade coach, like telling the kid, like the best kid on the team, like, hey, you get the ball 90% of the time. We got to give it to somebody else 10% of the time. So
yeah.
I'm going to tell you like that this decoy job you have is important, even though it's not.
Bijan Robinson is averaging 5 yards a carry. Tyler Algier is averaging like 2.8.
That's sick.
But in the red zone, if you have Bijan out wide and Algier under center, they'll never know.
No
That's
idea.
You get a lot of jet motion going that way too, which is really cool. I think Kyle Shanahan does some of that in San Francisco. So
yeah, they like to get a little cute.
Why not?
Anyway, I think more sons of billionaires should be head coaches. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a true talent.
Yeah.
That's actually the problem with Brian Ferentz is his dad wasn't rich enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I continue to say that the absolute best job in the universe would be to be a head coach for like 8 days and then get fired, and then they have to pay you out. Mark Davis will pay me $15 million to not be there anymore.
Right. Don't inflict yourself on this offense, and we'll give you a good check.
I can like call my GM a dipshit in an email and then get $15 million for the next like 6 years.
We are all like, I'm just going to switch to college football here. We're all rooting for Iowa, right? We want to see them play Michigan in the Big Ten title game in primetime on national television.
Yeah, I think that would be like a Stanford situation. That
was my favorite game of
delicious.
football. I get it. Like I do celebrate the highs and like the Iowa State football, but just like I don't think I've ever maybe like actually gotten high off Schadenfreude, but like I was close to being like just watching people melt down about the halftime thing, including our like the Iowa legislature. Like this is still when people would actually post on like Facebook and stuff, and everyone just furious.
Back when like Blackheart gold pants and wide right and LA were like massive,
right?
Yes.
Like that, and they were just like their brains were just melting out of their ears about this, and then watching McCaffrey just like single-handedly just like dunk on their entire team the whole time, like with a smile on his face, was like, oh man,
that's the closest I will ever reach to like getting to Nirvana.
Yeah, like I'm just like standing in the living room, like transcending out
Becoming
of my
higher
body.
being.
Every time
My roommate Matt has like 15 people over playing beer pong, and they're all mad, and I'm just like floating in the air.
Yeah, like one more touchdown, and I would have completed transcendence, but it couldn't happen. But yeah. Oh, anytime they can lose big is a good one for me, but
it'll be great to lose to them 28-0 next year
for another 10 years straight.
It will be super cool.
It'll be like Brian Ferentz kid is currently going to step up to be the next OC as is tradition. What is he, like 12?
They just do fullback dive for 78 minutes.
He just runs it through the like
Campbell
Madden
still is like,
recommendation.
we got to establish the run.
Every play on their offense is just whatever Madden says, like on the game.
Yeah. It's just punt.
ISOs and dives.
They'll never expect a first down punt.
First down punt over and over. That would I honestly think they would be undefeated if they just punted on first down. I don't. Yeah, especially last year. They would have scored more if they'd done that.
Look, you punt every first down, and then the offense is on the field the whole time. The opponent's offense, they'll get tired. Yep. And then
Yes.
the defense has them exactly where they want them. Then your defense turns into your offense
Right.
by taking the ball from the other team, and then you can make plays.
Think about your middle linebacker as your QB.
Right. The only trick is you have to get the ball, and then you can just run normal plays.
Yeah.
With your good players.
Everything should be revolving around getting the ball into your defense's hands as soon as possible.
Yep.
The highlight of like my Monday is listening to Kirk Ferentz press conferences where like the Iowa beat writer asked the same question for the 10th week in a row. He's like, hey, like didn't score a lot of points. Do you think that we should try and score points next week? And Kirk Ferentz is like, what are you fucking talking about, man? Like we competed at an elite level today.
Got the dub.
I think.
Did you see the press conference where he said his favorite like win ever was like the 3-2 Penn State win?
It was like
I think it had something to do with like a family death.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little depressing, but it's also 3-2. You
Right.
set college football back like 700 years.
I think
gross. I bet his actual favorite win is that weird story where like he wanted to pave his driveway and him and his neighbor got into like a lawsuit and he ended up winning. I bet that's his real win.
Yeah.
I can't remember the details, but I think there was some sort of like that's where his mind truly lies. Like his true passion is suing neighbors over boundary disputes.
No, that's all you need to know. Normal people do not sue their fucking neighbors for anything ever. You just shut up and you deal with it for 20 years until you move.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the guy we keep losing to.
Yep, over and over, forever. Go Cyclones!
But
I wish we had a baseball
trying to beat
team.
up my
Together
zone
team.
game.
I wish we had a baseball team I could care about, but we don't. All right, let's go into league stuff. Let's stop.
Fine.
Making myself
You don't
depressed.
talk Hawks anymore?
Don't want to talk what? No, I
Hawks.
don't want to talk about Hawks.
Okay, Guggenheim. So on Monday, had a big showdown of 4-4, Zachary and Posler. So Zachary had Eckler and Posler had Keenan Allen. Zachary ended up getting the dub because Eckler got 2 touchdowns off of the back of, I believe, a Zach Wilson fumble on like the 2 or 3 yard line. And so Eckler punched it in and got him the dub, even though Keenan Allen continues to be like a top 2-3 wide receiver in the league. So that was fun to watch. I had already had my shit locked up. No big deal. Cameron Dicker, absolute beast.
I was right.
You were right. Yeah. So I was trying to think like, do I overthink this? Do I just bench my kicker because if he misses twice and then gets injured, I could lose. But it was all fine. Then Podwords, the number 1 pick in our entire league. He is missing Justin Jefferson. I'll give him that. But he got 30 from the Chargers defense, which I think is second only to Dallas. And lost by half a point.
Brutal. He's like 3-6 too.
He
needed that.
He just got below me, and I'm very bad. So shit is not going right for Podwords. I can only imagine how gut-wrenching it would be to have your defense put up 30 and just be like, one more sack of Zach Wilson, one more massive fuck up from this guy, and you got it. But heartbreak.
Podwords, the longer the season goes, the worse his team gets. But the closer the Hawaiian brothers next to me gets to completion. So maybe there's something related there.
Do you think that like Podward's essence is going into
store?
the Hawaiian brothers next door to you?
The Hawaiian brothers literally like right around the corner from me, like is being constructed. And I believe they're doing it out of his essence. It's Hawaiian brothers. And there's Hawaiian brothers in our league. I think there's something to be said here.
Is their essence just actual Mahalo rewards points?
Mm-hmm. They build new restaurants out of them once you earn enough.
We've sacrificed yet another Edwards. It's time for our next Mahalo. All right, on to Herman German Freeze knows more about this than I do, but my quick observations was Mallier loses. Mallet. Freeze is alone on top.
It's hard.
One I
It's
wrote
hard
was
being
Tim
on the top.
Wood. Tim Wood, 3-game winning streak. He was also down in the dumps like me. He's now a respectable, a gentleman's 4-5.
Mm-hmm.
He's not greedy like the rest of you. But yeah, go ahead, Freeze. As somebody who's on top, what's Herman German like? What are you doing?
Herman German is actually kind of sick because like the 10th place team is 4-5. So we are.
Wow.
It's
That's
super
wild.
deep. Yeah, so it's super deep. There's 5 different teams that are 4-5. And I feel like the storyline is which of those are going to like scramble for the knife in the mud first and kill the others, which I'm pretty excited to watch from the top of my horse.
Yeah, you're not messing in the mud.
You're
good.
Heath Ledger with the pool
Yeah.
cue.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Love
that's
that.
going to be pretty sick. And then we also need to talk a little bit about the fact that Mitch Peters, who famously drafted like 12 running backs, is beating 3 people. He's one of the 4 and 5 teams.
That's amazing. Yeah, that was what we wanted
dumb.
out of Rod last year.
Love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Who is he beating? Name them.
He is beating. I had this pulled up. It is stand by. He's beating Logan Wood, who is almost certainly going to be Piss Boy. He is 2-7 and not doing so good. Nick Stumbo and Goose.
Goose.
Goose is getting
Wow.
beat by, and Mitch is actually Goose's pledge son, which is a fun
Oh,
dynamic.
no.
Will Mitch do this to Goose? after
Goose
everything
was like
he's-
dancing on everyone's grave after drafting the fucking Dallas defense. But what happened there, buddy?
Not great. Not great. So yeah, fun league this year. More fun than in
That's
years
awesome.
past. I don't really know why I feel that way, but
What's good? We want an increase in fun year over year, so that's good.
Right.
We're hitting our
Yeah.
KPIs.
Fun factor should be.
love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When our district manager comes around, we're all going to be, getting bonuses since we're hitting our fun KPIs.
I should just
All
check
right.
my projections, and I'm projected to lose to Will by 5 points, even though he's missing a player. So that's great.
Oh,
All right, on to Blipto. Shugart lost to Kunze. Shugart had the Giants defense. A couple people got caught with the Giants defense, got caught with their pants down with a cool -1. Kunze had the Browns defense, which had 24. And that's essentially what the difference in the matchup was. He lost by about 24. So Kunze now ties Shugart for lead in Blipto. Or no, not lead, because T-Shan is actually 7-2.
What the fuck?
T-Shan is 7-2. He is 7th in points scored. So there are 7.
Wow.
No, he's sorry. I actually worded this wrong. There are 7 people ahead of him in points scored. He's 8th in points scored, but he's 7-2. You can only play who you can play. The man is on
Hashtag
top.
bring back the median.
He was texting me over the weekend, like, "Hey, somebody, what should I bid for? I think Kyler Murray." I was like, I don't know, like, how much do you have left? He's like, oh, $20. I was like, probably $20. Who's your QB? And I forget who he had. Nobody good. And then he put it in there, and then he was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I need to split this with like 4 other people. I'm like, no, dude, you're fucking 6-2. Just get the QB1. What is happening? You're fucking 8th in points scored. Just get the QB1. But I think he lost out by BNL's betting 11. He just wouldn't commit the whole chunk of cash. So
speaking of B&L's, quick league stat. B&L's currently leads the league in losses.
nice.
I hate that.
Very nice.
Just thought I'd throw that in there. I saw that this evening. T Mike leaving the league means that he is no longer like he's frozen in time, and now we've got a couple that have risen above T Mike. So BNL's current loser winner. Oh yeah, I actually have I have another fun fact that I stripped out of the League Legacy website for Blipto. It has been 5 years since Tech's had a winning season. He's been under 500 for at least 5 seasons. And I was checking. He had a good start, but he is under currently. So this would make it 6. But the all-time, most losing seasons, so seasons where you're under 500, is TJ Schmidt with 8. So he's got a long way to go before he's going to hit those numbers. But although it is a streak, it's a 5-season streak for Tech, so he could have some other losing seasons further back that would put him closer to 8. Anyway, there you go.
I actually lied.
Uh-oh.
Somebody dropped Jared Goff, and that's what T-Shan was bidding on, and he got Jared Goff for free. Jared Goff is like the QB5 on the year.
We apologize for this error here at the
I
podcast.
thought something was off. Anyway.
Does T-Shan know that Jared Goff has to play the Vikings defense 2 more times?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everyone really, you guys, you really think the Lions got the NFC North? I don't know about that.
It was kind of fun that we let them think that for a minute, though.
Right.
The other D-League podcast thinks
it's all
that.
over. Nah. Dabs is about to ruin their whole lives.
Mm.
Peter Cuervo. So last weekend, Bradley, I think during Thursday Night Football, Bradley and I were like messaging on Instagram. And I was like, dude, this is so funny. You should just, here's my actual number and you can just text me instead of like IMing me on Instagram. And then like, it's like 12:15 and Bradley just texts me, I fucking hate fantasy. This is such fucking bullshit. So Bradley he's in Paris Cuervo, which is obviously like a shit show. His first round pick is Bijan Robinson, who back-to-back weeks has been royally fucked by Arthur Smith being a billionaire's son. And then he also had the Giants defense. So he lost to a new blood, John Tracy.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, shout out John Tracy. But nothing's going right for Bradley. He's tilted off the face of the
He's won
planet.
like 3 games.
Yeah, he's
not,
3-6. Things aren't going well. 3-6, you can still win out, so don't give up.
You can do it.
But then Rod's Racing Championship. If we're continuing it from last year,
I think we can.
He's in second. He's on his way to the
Rod's
top.
in second. He's just chugging along, doing well. So like he's only 1 game out of the top. So yeah.
Who is on the top in Peters?
Sip Wrightsman. I don't think you know who that is, but he's a good dude. They're all good dudes. We're all good dudes.
Suckett Trebek is on top.
Oh, okay, never mind. Who is Suckett Trebek?
That?
It's a great name.
Yeah,
it's a good name. Is that?
It just says Suckett Trebek as at Suckett Trebek, so I don't know.
I think it's Pentec. Oh no, that's Kansas Comet. Who is Suckett Trebek?
Who are all of these people whose names you're saying?
So old.
This is annoying because I know who like half the time who these people are pretty well, but like I keep telling people, hey, like what your username is different than what your team name is. So if you could make your username something I could understand, it'd make my life a lot easier. And then nobody changes anything. So I don't actually know.
We'll have to have a legend sent out to the group later so we know what everyone's name is.
I'll know it as soon as I see it, but at this point, I don't know.
All right. Well, on to Newhall. No. Brant. I've seen Brant.
Brant's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Suckett
Trebek. Your outline for Newhall, Bam, says that Benda's 1-8, but that can't be true. Is that true?
Unfortunately, it is true.
Oh. McSweeney. It's McSweeney. That's who it is.
So there are Sweeneys in the house, and there's also McSweeneys in the house.
Yeah, completely unrelated. But yeah, that's who it is.
That's interesting.
It took me a second. So, apologies to McSweeney if he listens to this.
The Cloudwalkers are, from what I know, or what I've seen, they have the worst record in all of the D League.
Oh, I hate that.
1-8.
That's rough.
Yeah, the rebrand is bad. Here is the Cloudwalkers team. They are projected to score 79 points this week.
Oof.
We got Justin Herbert, Ramondre Stevenson, Royce Freeman, who's on a bye, Jamar Chase, who apparently has a back injury, Chris Olave, Rashee Rice, who is on a bye, Trey McBride, who I have and who sucks massive ass, the Saints kicker, who looks like he is 13 years old, Pitt defense. On his bench, he has Damian Pierce, who won't play, Amari DiMercado, who won't play, Kyron Williams, who won't play, Josh Reynolds, who is second fiddle to Jameson Williams, Tutu Atwell is on bye, Kadarius Toney's on bye, and Dalton Schultz, who is a guy.
A real person that plays in the NFL.
There is no hope. There is nothing here. It's
everything.
It's all-
Yeah, like I don't. All you have. I mean, again, if you just know you're going to be in the consolation bracket, I don't know what you can do to like try to get your like climb your way into the final thing to make your final standing better. But yeah, 1-8 is rough. You put
yeah,
all
I mean,
your
you can't trade. You can't do anything. There is no. At this point, you're out of the playoffs no matter what. So
Mhm.
There is no hot waiver wire pick that is just now
Yeah.
coming on in fucking week 11 of the NFL.
actually,
Whatever.
this is interesting because he just traded.
Oh, really? Intriguing. He did
Cloudwalkers,
5 hours
but-
ago. A DeWitt and at Neon Medusa's trade.
All right.
I-
Well, you're trying to fight relegation. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, go for it, bud. Whatever you got to
Okay.
do.
Anyway, so when Benda was on, we originally picked our winners of the new hall. I said Juice. Juice had a rough go of it after I said that, but now he's 4-5, just like me. He's crawling out of the gutter. He's got back-to-back wins. Hanks, who Benda talked about, is now 7-2. He's in second place. There are 9 people ahead of him in points scored, but he's still 7-2. Doesn't really matter. You play who you play. I didn't write these other two. So who has Teeds as another comeback story?
Yeah, so I did that. So like Teeds was, it's not there now, but for like his ratings were just terrible. Like, well, first off, he didn't know like how Sleeper worked. I think I talked about this last year.
He didn't know what
literally
platform
was
we were on, yeah.
He was literally not like paying attention at all. So it was like just consistently really bad. Obviously turned it around last year because he won and got promoted into Newhall. But now is like, yeah, he's killing it. He's leading, so he's winning Newhall. So maybe we see him in Presidents, which would be quite the turnaround, going from like like a Tex level losing situation where
Tex
you're just
loser.
Tex is not like personally a loser, but if we are going by league rating, he is the worst of all time.
The
So
vote.
yeah, so that's but yeah, going from like a situation where that's your like
Not
win
personally.
right? We're
You're a
talking
great dude.
yeah, great dude, but fantasy stats just not good. But yeah, Teeds they're really bad. So if he goes from deciding to pay attention, winning, I don't know what he was in, Guggenheim or wherever he was, probably not Guggenheim, but Blipto, I think, and then winning Newhall and getting to Presidents, like that would be amazing. I don't think that's the odds of that happening are very low. So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, the odds are very low because there's only one person that moves up.
Yep. It's an easy
really
to understand
low.
structure. Very easy to understand the structure.
Yeah,
You already
moving up
got it.
twice is really hard
Mhm.
because you have to win twice.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise I could just randomly assign people at the beginning of the year, which is more or less how we did it originally.
Is now where
Anyway.
we talk about how Corey Anderson is making you and everyone
Soon.
involved in this
Almost,
charade?
we're almost
Soon.
there. All right, then we got. I did want to say, Masker and Hanks have a matchup. They're 3-3 all time. So I've got a couple of
Ooh.
these all time ones.
Okay.
So yeah, one of these guys is going to pull ahead of the other.
Couple of
So that's pretty
gamers.
fun. You have Old Hall. I think you wrote. I've got most of this in here, but yeah, an Old Hall. It looks like Sully has his first loss since week 2, so that's got to be
Yep.
a feeling he's being reacquainted with. Slinging Cigaro. Who is that again? I forget.
Josh Winter.
Yeah, he is 0-4 versus Nigro. So he's never won. Looking for his first win in the last, I'm assuming, 4 years. Then Billy's 4-4 versus Prier, which that's another one where one of them's going to come ahead of that matchup. And then Sully versus Logan. So Logan was in the Presidents and got moved down at the end of last year, but they've played enough times. They played 10 times. So and Sully is 6-4 versus Logan. So we'll see how that goes too.
Yeah, let's hear a perennial President's residence.
They both
Like
been
that?
in the league quite a while. Yeah.
President's residence. That's pretty good.
Residents.
Oh yeah, that works too. Nice.
Yeah, either one of those.
Nice.
Speaking of presidents, do you want me to talk about presidents then, since I'm in the league?
Yeah, I didn't know if you're gonna be here or not, so I wrote down you beat Davo.
I did, yeah.
Go
Which
ahead. Gloat.
I don't
Love it.
personally have a lot as much animosity as others do, but he's been quieter as of late, since his streak is now much like the Cowboys, just going by the wayside. So the glories of past are less and less relevant as we go along. But it was interesting that I played him a bunch and I did get the win, which I think our streak is pretty even. I think maybe it's tied now that I won. But it was my 100th win, which was, it all kind of came together. So that was great. And then, yeah, you guys were just talking about it, Corey. So when Lincoln left the D League entirely, it opened a slot of presidents, which meant that we had to bump people up based on their, end of season. So Corey got put into presidents because that was, of the new and old hall. That's how it worked.
He didn't really earn it. He was kind of.
He did not earn it in the traditional way. No.
Sure.
But then, yes, he is currently on track to, he will be up for relegation unless he turns it around. And to be fair, he's 2-7, and we've got 2 others that are at 3-6. However, James has been on the up and up. He's looking better than he was at the beginning of the season for sure. Ward, however, I don't think has won in the last. It's been 4 weeks since he's won. So
since he gave his game to Knust.
Yeah, basically. And then so we might be looking at a situation where right now the favorites for relegation would be Ward and Corey, although of course you can win out and not make it. But yeah, that would be pretty funny, as if Corey got relegated the year he got. Here's your slot, and then see you later.
Is it the official position of the D League podcast co-commissioners that Corey Anderson should apologize to the league for this performance?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I mean, you were given this gift, and I
kind of want to go back,
wasting it.
So this last week, Corey lost by 20 on his bench. Okay, so he started Darrell Henderson, Kareem Hunt, who had 4.5 points and 9 points, and Gabe Davis in his flex was 0. On his bench is Alexander Madison with 16, Miles Sanders with 8, Najee Harris with 15. So that wins him his matchup. If we go to week 8, he lost by 20. He has Darrell Henderson with 10 on his bench, Zach Moss with 14 on his bench, Gabe Davis with 20.
This has been a consistent theme of his as being the worst manager every week, according to that stat.
Data miners again. This is pretty okay. Everyone's on a bye there on week 7, week 6. Okay, he leaves a lot of players on his bench, but most of the weeks it doesn't appear to have mattered.
Mhm.
Just the last two it did.
Just plainly trash.
Scored 130 and still lost by 30. That feels really, really bad.
That's bad. Yeah, that's rough.
That feels really bad. But
Um,
yeah, he is like the least accurate manager, from what I
Right.
understand. So
Yeah, that was so. Oh yeah, I did have like there was a just in general. We were talking about Canoes. He lost, so maybe podcast curse. Freeze.
I'm not
Freeze.
worried about it.
Freeze.
Canucks this week. I'll rise above.
Caduce is two episodes ago though.
Oh, that's true. That's
That's a
right.
good
Well,
point.
maybe it's me. Maybe
Yeah.
it's when I'm on. I'm the one that does the cursing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You play him this week.
I
Better be
play.
ready.
Well,
Can
yeah.
you-
Let's if he's got a bounce back, then let's hope not. We are projected like it's 50-50 right now, so that's cool. Oh yeah, Ward's playing Jeff. Ward is actually up on Jeff all time 3-2, so we'll see. And then yeah, and just as another fun league fact is that James Von Gillern and I are both tied for most winning seasons, which is the opposite stat of Texas losing seasons with 9. So 9 seasons above 50%.
9 out of 10. 9 out of
Yeah,
9.
I'm going on a statistical revenge tour based on all the trash that is spoken about me when I'm not on this podcast.
So you've literally never had a losing season since
I've had
relegation
losing.
entered.
Well, this isn't a streak. It's just overall.
Total.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's been like 13 seasons, so I've had
Yeah.
4 losing seasons.
gotcha.
Yep. All right, you want to talk about waiver and trade action real quick?
Sure, nothing much on waivers. Keaton Mitchell, he had a 60-yard run, so everyone's busting their fucking nut on this guy when they were already up like 30 points on Seattle. Better go get him. He was $24 to Will in my league. He's free in most other leagues. Will continues to bully me. I don't have any running backs in my league, so Will just keeps taking them. He took Keaton Mitchell, and he also took Antonio Gibson from me. This is when it matters, though, right? Like you have an entirely healthy roster. You drafted a bunch of people that never got injured, so now you have $150 to spend on Antonio Gibson, who averages 1 point a game, and Keaton Mitchell, who hasn't played football the entire year. So congratulations to you. You're a beast. Like, everyone's really impressed. You get to just dump your whole load on an RB7, and everyone is jealous about it.
It is
Congrats,
like
dude.
there's not a lot of activity going on right now. Like all the funny stuff generally happens in the beginning when all your
Yeah.
dollars have maximum value, or at the end when they have maximum value, and people are like, I spent $80 on Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, so Will has had 0 injury luck at all. All of his players are completely healthy. I have had the opposite, and then I play Will this week, and I have legitimately 6 people on bye.
Should have planned for
that's
that in
sick.
draft.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
that sucks. Write this one off mentally, and then just move on to the
Will
next one.
does have Isaiah Pacheco on bye.
Oh, that's good then.
I'm sure that'll matter a lot when my RB2 is Tajay Spears.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, if you have cash at this point, you're cringe. You drafted lucky, you didn't draft good. Anyway, on to Newhall. There was a trade. There was one
was a
trade while I was looking at stuff. DeWitt acquired JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Benda, who is 1-8, acquired a tight end.
This will get it. You can flex that tight end. Good luck, dude.
Okay.
Just need the one piece. Just one piece away.
This
You
is
know
it.
what? Good luck.
Somebody message Canoes and see if it's possible that a 6-8 team makes playoffs.
I don't know. Good. We'll see.
He'll rain
Maybe
me
it
in
is.
the morning.
I'm not sure. All I know is that we haven't reached the trade deadline, so this is allowed to go through.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, we're
Good
getting
job.
there. Slowly getting there. to the.
When is the
trade
trade
I
deadline?
think it's like 13,
13?
or 14. Yeah, 13.
Okay.
we
I
got a
obviously
ways.
know, but for the listeners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it's week 13,
Absolutely.
I believe.
All right, that's all the transaction stuff it looks like we got. Let's focus on our guest here real quick. People that have been with us an hour can now hear about Ben.
Say your
Welcome.
name for the podcast.
Yeah, say your name. State your name for the podcast.
First and last.
My name is Ben Freese.
Freeze.
Not
Great.
Freese. Not
Freese.
Freeze.
It's just freeze. Like
Freeze.
cold.
Freeze.
Benjamin
Freeze.
Evelyn Freeze.
How'd you know my middle
Proceed.
name was Evelyn?
I just do.
Oh,
He's got your social security number too, but we won't put
That's
that
sick.
out here.
What
All right,
pledge
when did
class
you?
are you in?
Yeah, what pledge class were you in? I don't know. And this is when you were a pledge. I'm
2010.
redefining it. Okay, yeah. So I was gone by this time. By the time you showed up.
correct.
Yeah.
Austin, were you a senior, junior?
2010, I would have been a junior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
And then
Fall of 2010,
Yeah.
I would have been a senior. Yeah.
yeah. And then what year did you actually join the league? I can't remember. You were later, I feel like.
It was like 2015 or 16. I can't remember. My first season was the season before the Nashville draft. Because
Denver?
I was pissed boy after my first season. I didn't draft that team. Canuce did. So we'll thank him for that.
That's amazing.
For sure. That was cool. So I got to meet everybody at the draft wearing a fucking crown and piss boy sash. That's super cool.
That was Canoe's fault.
It definitely was. I'm going to throw him under the bus on that.
Mm.
It was actually because I had Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback.
Mm.
That's what did it for me.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was that year. So like 2015, maybe 16.
Well, would you like to walk through your history with the league? Like what are your highs and lows, whatever you want to talk about.
You know,
Your franchise, talking about your franchise.
I don't think it's so critical to walk through the past as it is to walk through the future. I tell our guys
Right.
every day when we come in, when we get our lift in, like, it's not about what happened yesterday. We're here now. We're here to work. It's not, listen, I'm going to get hammered in the athletic for this. That's fine. To me, it's not about the wins and the losses. It's not. I know I'm supposed to say that it is, but it's not. As long as my guys show up every day and become the best version of themselves, that's all I want.
Fair.
So-
I mean, your franchise is living that by becoming this year the best version of itself.
We
It
might not
is.
hang a national championship banner, but we'll hang the most together banner.
Correct.
That's all that
The-
matters.
I will say
Biggest
historically, huh?
Biggest heart banner.
Mhm.
100%. 100%. Real Make-A-Wish vibes. No. The two best drafts I had, though, were the two drafts that I attended. So it feels like I should start attending more drafts. And
That's
as long as those are not in like Lamoni, Iowa, I will do so.
Is that a Rathbun dig?
It is.
You can drive. It's not a big deal. Just drive.
I wasn't driving from Phoenix. I wasn't flying from Phoenix
Oh, yeah, he's
to
in
Des Moines to
Phoenix.
drive to
Oh
Rathbun.
yeah, that's probably fair. I mean, some of us drove.
Listen,
very far
that
away,
is fair.
but some of us did do that. But I get it. Some of us drove to Minneapolis for drafts.
If rail
that.
was more accessible in the United States, maybe
Mhm.
we could draft wherever we wanted.
I wanted to
Somebody get
draft
Cuba
on
Joe
a
on.
train,
Yeah.
but no, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
Like fly into one end of a railhead and then just be on the train for 3 days or something, and the draft would be in the
We
middle.
could do the draft at the bar cart. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you could make it work, I just don't know how. We probably wouldn't have a good buy-in for that one, so maybe it would work.
Yeah.
But
We can do that for the first hockey draft for the Delt Cup.
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's a great point. Is that we have a undercurrent, mostly from Hanks, about that they think that maybe the get together would be a better postseason activity instead of a draft activity. And I'm I see the arguments there, but now if you participate in the multi-sport D-League premium tier, then maybe multiple drafts would be in your future all season long. But we're not there yet. But sign up.
It would
Sign
be
up
fun.
to hear more about D-League premium.
Yeah.
Smash that subscribe button.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
Right. Oh, sorry. This was supposed to be about you. Tell me about your franchise.
My franchise is the Sod-Offs, which was meant to be an alliteration because I was living in Scottsdale at the time. It was the Scottsdale Sod-Offs was the idea.
Oh yeah.
And I just love a good black and white jersey. Like the Permian Panthers, the jerseys fuck. Best jerseys in sports.
That's good.
Yeah. Nothing really like fun about it. I wish that I was like cool and was like, oh yeah, it's like a niche Wayne's World reference. It's not. It was just a thing that I made up.
That's better. You made it's
So
all
you're
it's
sick.
it's spraying from your forehead.
It
Where do
did.
you live now?
St. Louis Park. I don't want to dox myself to all of our
No,
thousands of listeners.
specifically.
But yeah, like St. Louis Park, just on the other side of Bere Makaska.
Okay.
What did you just say?
They
Bede
rename all the
Makaska.
lakes here for the Indian
Oh,
tribes that we took them from.
I heard it in like a Spanish accent, so I was just really thrown. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Apologies. I didn't say it in a Spanish accent. So
It came across to me
sure.
as that. Yeah.
That's right. You'll be canceled momentarily.
I would like to not be canceled.
I'm
That's
Maybe I
texting
shouldn't
Merritt
make
right now.
hanging jokes.
Yeah.
Cancel this guy.
Send this guy to Reddit. Quick, let's talk about his address again. All right. Do you have any specific opinions about the league you were in that you would like to share?
So I think I've gone through most of them today.
That's
It's more of
true.
an airing of grievances. I think that Corey Anderson should apologize for what he's done in the President's League.
It was almost Festivus, so that's fair.
I think that Goose, Nick Stumbo, and Logan Wood should apologize for losing to Mitch Peters, who by all rights should have the worst team in the league.
We've established early on in the lore that it does not matter what you did in the draft. Fantasy will just give you wins.
Right.
It-
Everything
that
is
is true.
predestined.
Right.
And technically the draft is in the past, and we're
Right.
focused
Mhm.
on the future.
The beginning of the podcast is even in the past.
hmm
Hmm.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
Yep. This is now a weirdo.
I have now won
philosophy
2
podcast.
weeks in a row when my team is at the worst it could ever be.
Yeah.
And
That's what character does. Those are character
kind of
wins.
thinking about making it as worse as I possibly can to continue the win streak.
How is the watching no NFL football thing going for your fantasy? Or do you just not look at the app? Is that what you do?
That was a long time ago. So if you follow the podcast,
Podcast lore.
obviously you do not.
Right.
I follow some of it.
My original plan was I was just not going to look at my scores ever. And then Merritt and I had a conversation, was like, does this actually help? And what the reality was, I was still doing the math in my head because I'd watch Red Zone. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I know that guy. That's my guy. What does he have now? I just do it in my head. And she's like, well, that's not helpful. At this point, yes, I do look at scores. I do look at things, but it's usually at the end of the day. I'm just disassociating myself from being upset about it.
I don't have it on my phone at all anymore. I think I went over all this last time, is I like stripped all the apps out of my phone to make it as like stupid as possible. I like looked into like dump like old flip phones if they still work on things to really go crazy. But yeah, so and I don't really get the chance to watch football either. So it's like a fun surprise when in the evening I walk upstairs to my office and like log on and see like what happened.
Yeah, it
Get to
is
see
really
Matt
cool that we
Canaan's
all have to like
offense.
come up with ideas to not be mentally destroyed by
This game.
our pretend teams. But
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
my like historical performance probably reflects it. I've never really like cared that much about my scores in fantasy. I just like I feel like I care too much about the Vikings to
Mm,
care at all about another professional football thing.
yeah.
Where-
that's
See, and I'm the
fair.
opposite. I don't care about actual NFL. I only care about my
No.
fake team.
Sure.
Either one, both of them are sad in their own right.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Neither one of them will ever grant me happiness, but
Hmm.
here we are.
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
But Dobbs. but
The
Josh
goat?
Dobbs.
Could
Also,
be this year.
Jaron Hall looked great. He looked great. Tell me he didn't look great. He looked great.
I won't
He looked
telling
better
me
than
that
Jordan Love.
Jaron
I'll tell you
Hall-
that much.
A Jaron Hall, Josh Dobbs dual backfield doesn't score fucking
Yeah.
points in the NFL.
The squad that drafted Jordan Addison, who is a Biletnikoff winning first round wide receiver, 7 touchdowns, absolute fucking beast. That same staff drafted Jaron Hall. And he was going to score on his first ever drive in the NFL until he got concussed because the same motherfucker who keeps getting called for headhunting on the Falcons headhunted him and gave him a concussion. Those
That's
are
true.
facts. All facts.
Can we nominate Jaron Hall for the I put my heart in this shit dog
Right.
.gif award of the week?
Jaron Hall is a Jaron Hall's a beast.
Gross. You said GIF.
Jaron Hall has 1 start under his belt and he's already way better than Jordan Love. Facts. Sorry.
Right.
That's an actual fact.
Don't mean to offend.
There's gonna be so many butthurt Lions and Packers fans listening to this pod.
No one's gonna get this far.
Yeah,
Let's be real. T-Shan signed out like 45 minutes ago.
This is where we talk about
All
Flesh
right,
and Blood
let's
and
go.
Magic.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, we owe the listeners their questions. We haven't done that. So, like, do you
Yeah,
want to
true.
rapid fire these questions? Where are we at?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go through the ones that we've got, and you guys just give me your, like, we'll just real quick. Best sci-fi book series.
Hyperion, he's right. The Hyperion Cantos is beautiful and amazing.
Can I
Alright,
take
Ben,
a
you got
partial
one? Do it.
series?
Take a what?
If I can just do the first Dune book, honestly, like the first through the third Dune books, I do
Yeah.
that. They get like weird after that.
Well, and then
Yeah.
his kid starts writing them, and we're not
Hyperion
all
is
about
4
that.
books.
Mhm.
That's the whole thing. It doesn't like expand into extra universes like Dune did. Hyperion is delicious and amazing.
I've
I
never
don't
read
think
that.
I've
I'll put it on
read
my
it.
list.
It's very.
I mean, the
very good.
last sci-fi I read was probably Dune, so I would just go with that. But I mean,
Oh, it's so good.
it's
there's
so
I'm missing out on a lot here. I keep
B. Rice
reading
is
nonfiction.
B. Rice is also smart though. I've read the first 2 Ender's Games books and they're really, really, really good.
Yeah, those
really
are
good.
fun. All right, let's go. What's next? Everyone kept talking. They were answering their own questions. I think they just wanted to talk about their questions. Okay. What is a random and insignificant hill that you are prepared to die on?
I think if you drink soda before noon, you're a psychopath.
I don't think that's a psychopath thing so much as like a white trash thing.
What if I eat lunch at 11?
I'm fine with that.
You can do. I
Okay.
could do that, but do you drink a Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. I'm not prepared to go that
Now
far.
I want you to go this. I will have been in the middle of my second coffee when it's lunchtime, so I'll stop drinking coffee, eat my lunch and Dr. Pepper, and then finish my coffee.
That's really fucking crazy. Yeah.
I don't hate that. I think that's
I came up with this take because my manager at Cerner would have like a fucking the like 40 ouncer from Come and Go,
You'll
and
bid
at
They had
like
a hun-
8
they had a
a.m.
100
fill it
ouncer.
up with Diet Coke and be like
Yeah.
ready to rock.
That's
and that
too
just
much.
disturbed me to no end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
just
Okay.
I just think soda before you're eating a sandwich or whatever at lunch. That's weird. Stop it.
I am eating a sandwich at lunch. That's what I'm saying. You said it was weird. Okay. All right. These are all
What's
people
yours?
talk. What's mine?
Yeah. It wasn't just to me. The questions are to all of us.
I've got very specific problems with the carpool line at school currently.
let's get into that.
There's not really. I mean, it's just like there's nothing. It's like a thing where no one's really doing things wrong. It's just it's the
They're all not
markings on the
right.
ground are ill-defined enough that there's enough wiggle room that things get weird, and you see just like things that don't make sense, and then I think it's making everything less efficient. And then when you're just sitting in a car thinking about it before you have to pick up your kid, you have a lot of time to think about this. So I would need to have diagrams to really make this thing sing. So,
I
but
think
all
I'm
my
picking up what you're
weird,
putting down though, like a lack of sense of urgency and general orderness to the
it
process.
is just that the school is a pre carpool era, right, where everyone got picked up by their kids. So the way that they have to do things is like navigating through like, and there's like line splits and they meet in certain places and there's supposed to be some like alternating, and then you get people that won't.
Yeah.
And then it's making everything, and then other people won't let other people, which is like causing blocks throughout the system. And I'm just like, you know what, I could get out here with some cones and I could have this all cleaned up. But you know what, I'm not going to put myself out there. People get mad about carpool, so I'm not going to do that. Looks like other questions we got here are a bunch. Did you give one? No, you didn't give one. Do you have a hot take?
I have mine prepared.
All
I think that the FAA should be much more liberal about putting people on the no-fly list.
Is
Oh,
there
you have a
certain
lot of like
categories you're
smelly
thinking
food and such.
If you
Pigs,
bring,
right?
if you bring a fucking
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bag of piping hot Wendy's onto an airplane,
Yeah. Yeah.
with,
of? I have
up there with Najee and Miles Sanders, dude.
man.
Get that
Look,
shit.
I have a core memory about bags of hot Wendy's, and it is so Austin and I wrestled, and I don't remember, Austin, how much weight you had to cut, but I want to say that my senior year I went from, so I wrestled sophomore, junior, and senior, and I was 145, then I was 125, and then I was 130, and my natural weight at that time was probably around 145. So
Yeah.
like I didn't lose any weight, and then I had to lose 20 pounds, and then 15 or whatever. And I just remember like everyone's starving. It sucked. And we were in a rural school, and we had to travel these like 30-minute drives, 40-minute drives, wherever we're going. And everyone's starving because weigh-in is when you get there.
Yep.
And we've got this JV heavyweight dude who's way underweight, does not give like two shits, basically. We've got a guy in the back who's like trying to sweat off extra weight because he's not going to make weight and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And we're all sitting in the back. This guy marches onto the bus with a bag of Wendy's that he got from the thing, and he was just going to eat on the way to the wrestling match. I still remember being like so mad. Like just everyone was mad. Like just furious with this dude. And yeah, one of the like not a cool thing to do. Not at all.
That is
Fucking brain, dude.
Yeah. Use your brain, man. Anyway, I do
What was
think,
the actual question?
He was saying the FAA, like the hot take. So FAA could be a lot more liberal with the no-fly list, which is true. I think people that are doing weird boarding stuff, or if you're the kind of person that without reason just rushes to the front of the plane. So like, I got my family here. Like, here's me, here's my family, and here's somebody's butt in my face because they wanted to get 3 things forward. Like, unless you're rushing to catch a plane, and then I have sympathize. If you're just chilling, you don't look like you're in a hurry, and you just did this thing, like, we could actually just divert you out the emergency exit and just push you into the engine, as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
Then we don't even have to worry about the FAA.
Oh, I'm actually of the 140 people here. I actually have like
I'm the one in the hurry. Yeah, like I really need to go. You know what?
I think the shopping cart test would be mine.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you return your shopping cart, you're safe. If you don't, death penalty.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's simple.
Solve a lot of problems that way. If we're being honest.
If you don't return your shopping cart to the shopping cart area, you should be killed. You should be
if anyone's
allowed to raise children or anything like that. You are obviously a leech on society and should not be allowed to progress any farther.
If anyone's not familiar with this test, it was like the idea behind the like returning the shopping cart is like the purest test of someone's character, because
Mhm.
the downside to doing it is like you'd never experience consequences. It's so little effort to take your cart back that it's like, can you do the bare minimum to be like a contributing member to society, to like think about others? And if you're the kind of person that just shoves it off to the side because you figure someone else is going to deal with it, or you treat retail workers like that, like that this is somebody else's job, like that's a side note, not related to the test, but just in general, like then you're just kind of like your inside core functioning is trash. Like you, whatever is your moral compass and your functioning, like what you have developed in your brain that is telling you what a good citizen is and if you are it or not, like I'm here to tell you you're not. So
Correct.
You're broken and you're not going to get better.
right.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh,
Starting
got
to
any
get
other
real with
questions?
you.
There's a lot of questions about how you shower, but it seems like people had figured out that you go from top to bottom. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know why that would even be a question. If you went the opposite way, that's psychopath behavior. Let me take this dirt and smear it on my body. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to, all right.
Well, I am
Well,
interested. Do we have any other recommendations other than the ones that Christian wrote for
Nope. I
everyone
co-signed the
discuss
Austin
them?
Dammer method of showering.
like Dune? Obviously, no. I mean,
Oh, you're talking about the sci-fi
things.
books. I was
Dune,
trying to do quick hits, but you want to like get into the
Hyperion.
woods. I mean, there's a bunch of recommendations. I recommend anyone who's listening to this to join the Discord link I've sent to you 17 times and check them out.
All right.
All right.
Skelt, fancy question for the pod. Are running backs the new kickers in the sense that they're kind of worthless? Correct. They've always has been. Regular question: would you rather have to use dial-up internet for fantasy football or send a Polaroid dick pic to a random address? I'd rather send my dick to a
Physical
random
address.
easily.
I think I
Is
do
it a
the opposite.
download dick pic?
Do they know it's my dick?
Yeah.
I think no. So
Then
this
I
is
would do that.
that is like
easily.
this the like kind of like the sexual assault version of the shopping cart thing. Like
What?
you'll never
What?
know. You would take a picture and send it to someone and you'd never know what happened. You'd never suffer the consequences. So
Random
Oh.
address. It's just like
I guess
a
I
pre-K.
didn't picture that it was like just a random house would arrive. My dick would arrive there. That
Mhm. Yeah.
does seem disturbing.
Hmm. I'm dial-up internet all the way. Like
Yeah.
I am 1 foot in the door of like I don't want to use a single technology that existed after 2005.
Jameson has an AM radio, so he's
Yeah,
very, very
I'm
close
slowly.
to dial-up internet. He's like
How's the
resetting to
manifesto
back
coming?
when he was like 8 years old.
Yeah, like I want an internet where I'm barely playing Battlefield 1942. Like
Yeah.
that's what I want. That's
Damn,
an
that game
internet
was
that's so
fucking
frustrating. An internet that's so frustrating that I have to go outside.
Yeah.
That
That's
yeah,
ideal.
that's right. That my feet will touch that Kentucky bluegrass.
I have to
All
climb
right.
down the railroad stairs that Dad made.
Yeah, on the verge of collapse. All right. Does anyone, like as we wrap up here, does anyone have any closing thoughts now that we're at an hour and 30 minutes? T-Shan. No one's
No,
listening
other
at
than
this
the fact
point,
that
and,
both episodes you've been on have gone over an hour, and that's not my fault. That's your fault.
we got a lot to talk about. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about when you miss days and weeks at a time.
Guess what? I'm probably going to miss more, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You know what? I'm gonna miss more, even harder.
I'm going to make even less effort to make it.
Yeah. No. All good
I just
here. I'll
wanted
see you this
to
weekend.
again say thank you guys so much for having me on your program. It's been a blessing. Thank
You
you.
didn't talk much, Ben.
I just tried to throw a couple one-liners in there. Just trying to.
That's really, yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe next time you're on, we'll real dive deep into what makes you tick.
Yeah. Where do you live now?
We don't put
Wait, you
that
said
on.
St. Louis Park.
St. Louis Park. It's 1282 David Drive.
When did you move there?
May.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I realized? My room got super dark. This
Yeah,
thing's on
true
like an
stuff.
automation trigger, and I was like, why is it black in here? But that's what happened.
It'd be kind of a cool horror movie thing if you had like something behind you, actually.
It kind of looks like this, like
Yeah.
whatever this
The
is.
little light, yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah, something's under there, a little
Whatever
shadow.
this could be.
It's
I
officially
thought it was a
creepy.
kid, but I think it's just their junk that's just sitting next to the door or the down there. All right. Well, any last thoughts, Ben? That's it.
Any last words?
Thank you so much. I'm going to win Herman German, and Corey Anderson, I'm not kidding, should apologize. And if he has a single decent bone in his body, he will do so.
Yes, he's a fraud.
That'll be the final podcast. Is if he gets relegated, he has to apologize to everybody
I have
for
a funny
wasting
story,
time.
really quick. We're in a dynasty league, and I jokingly said, "Hey, Corey, do you have any of them quarterbacks left?" Because he went and bought. It's a super flex league. He went and got Clayton Tune and Josh Dobbs. I was like, this is before anything happened. So I was like, oh wow, you're really locking down the QB1 spot for Arizona. And I jokingly said last week, immediately after Jaron Hall got injured, I was like, "You got any more than QBs?" He just texted me tonight, like, "Oh, hey dude, were you serious about that QB comment?"
That
I
dynasty
have-
league is a shit show.
I have
It's evolving. Just like
Justin
the last
Herbert
one.
and fucking Lamar Jackson, and like, what?
So you want this guy, right?
No, I don't want Josh Dobbs. No, I don't want Clayton Tune.
Corey Anderson, you can call me though.
Yeah, hit him
There
up.
you go.
Actually, Ben, Mahomes. What do you think?
Listen,
Like in general.
everybody's for sale. I told you guys early in the season that my window's passed. I played in the title game twice. The window's over. It's
I will
time to
give you
rebuild.
Herbert, both my second round picks for Mahomes.
2 second-round fucking sir.
They're
I
going
want
to
to
be
go
early.
to bed. I gotta get this pod posted. Work this out on your own time.
We're doing business, Jameson.
Nope.
No. All right. That's it. I'm cutting this
Okay.
off. I'm shutting this
All right.
down. We're over an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
My last
sorry.
thoughts are everyone who is even vaguely interested to sign up to this like premium thing that I'm making the whole circuit. I
Everyone
would like
sign
to
up
see.
to D League Premium. It's $15 a
Premium.
month.
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah,
to me,
and-
not Jameson.
Because it would be fun
It'll
to
be
play with
funny.
at least like 12 people like doing this stuff all year and through all the other seasons, and we can
Also, Ben, nice glasses, dude. They're red. They're cool.
yeah, there you go.
Thank
But
you.
we've been able to build a bunch of dumb stuff in this D League, so maybe we could continue to do weird fun stuff in other sports as
Only
well.
if you pay us, only if you pay me, only if you subscribe, only if you smash that subscribe button, only if you
Right.
like and comment.
And if you made it to this point in the podcast, just type in the Discord tomorrow the single word hamburger.
Hamburger. And with that, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
That was the
bye.
funniest moment of every
All right.
single thing we ever did. All right, hamburger.
See ya.
Hamburger.